who is our guest speaker today. And he will be delivering the talk on how to create your own websites. So I'm sure this is going to be a very exciting webinar. And this is not, I mean, this webinar, after this, you will be trying to implement the learnings into practice. And we will be doing all the hand-holding that you may require to implement the digital health tools in your own pharmacies. So thank you again, and thank you our team from CPD. We have a special interest group in CPD, that is Go Digital, we call it, and it is headed by Raj Vaidya, Sagar Kulkarni, Anand Katta, Satish Shah, Ratnadeep Kurtarkar, Yogendra, and of course Shekhar Rautani. And we look forward to welcome many of you in our special interest group. So please do write your interest and be a part of Community Pharmacy Division of IPA. So thank you, Dr. Rajani, and over to you. Dr. Rajani, you are muted. And can we have a slide for the speaker intro, please? Dr. Rajani, you are muted. We cannot hear you. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I was not.
Thank you. I think Rajani madam has some issues. So I welcome Mr. Anand Katta, and he is based in Bangalore, and he's heading the clinical pharmacist team in India with IPD Analytics. He has got huge experience, long-standing experience of community pharmacy and clinical pharmacy. He was in other countries like United States, and he's a registered pharmacist in different states in United States. So I welcome Mr. Anand, and over to you. Thank you very much for accepting the invite and being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Can I request for the screen sharing?
Yes, I think you can share your screen because you already have you are a co-host. Yeah.
Okay, my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank Indian Pharmaceutical Association and Dr. Manjari ma'am to give me a platform for sharing my thoughts with the fellow pharmacist friends. Warm welcome to all attendees, and thank you for giving me such a warm introduction. So today we have gathered here to know more about the digital tools for the community pharmacist. So I just put like the tools and this one just to make sure that we know the tools, we are using it differently. We're not using these tools which I have displayed here. And we might be using one or the other or all of them during our everyday interactions, either with buying a cloth or buying food or buying a furniture or delivering goods and using a laundry or moving from here to there. So we have Make My Trip and several of this one. So we are also customers for online interactions, and we should ask ourselves, why are we using online? For example, now if you see that our home has become school and our home has also become office, thanks to the Zoom. So when we know that we are customers, we need to find out why are we using these services. So I just narrowed down to 6 points, which I can think. So most of the online will have some product descriptions, which we can read, we can understand what the product is about. It's very convenient, and most of them have visual descriptions, so it's easy to see what product we are looking into, and we save time, and we also get better discounts. So time is equal to money. And if we are ordering something online, we get a tracking, we get reminders, you're going to order. So there's a lot of convenience in that. And also it's from door to door convenience. So all these are the reasons of why we are using digital methods. So we also, as not only in the pharmacy sector, but different sectors, we're also using digital tools. We are using digital methods. We are going online. So ultimately, the last slide comes down to the customer service, the patient service, which we get, and also the value which they add. It's not only the product, but the value which we get through this one. And for in terms of the pharmacy, it is the care which we get. So these are the things which you cannot feel, you cannot touch. These are intangibles. When we are using a customer service, we're getting the value by the services which are intangibles. So why everyone is talking digital? If you see any sectors, either it be banking or automation, any industries, everybody's talking digital, everybody's going digital. Why are we doing that? So I just want to give my own example. I just don't want to preach any things which I don't follow. So I do medication counseling, and I have my own counseling for medications for patients. So which is reviewyourmed.com. And this service is the only service which is provided in India. Nobody does it. So when I started this service, even I had so much apprehensions. Will this work? Will people follow digital methods? But I'm proud to say that this is definitely working. I've got a lot of customers who are utilizing the pregnancy counseling. There are a lot of customers who are using the elderly counseling. So there are some questions, which medications can affect the development of fetus embryo? Should I avoid cold or cough or allergy medication during pregnancy? So all these questions are being answered by me. There are other questions also for elderly. Can I take my wife's cholesterol tablets because I just ran out of it? Is it my diabetes making me dizzy? So all such of kind of questions, which is an online platform, you can directly talk to me and interact with me. Everything is uploaded online, the prescriptions, the supplements, vitamins. I give them a phone call. I have a Zoom call with them and understand their concerns and give all the suggestions. So everything is digital. So I'm also following digital methods for my own business. So let's see some digital statistics, not only the methods. Why are everybody going digital? Is it really working? So the reason is the number of smartphone users. Everybody is now having internet. 650 million number of internet users in India by this year. And projected online retail. How many people are going to spend online? And 115 million customers are currently digital influencer and retail. If you see any sector, be electronics, apparel, book and music, everything has around 20 to 30% of people who are shifting to online media. And why is it? Because rising number of internet and social media users. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, you have WhatsApp. And if you see that 95% wireless, 65% broadband, and not only in the cities, also in the rural communities, 32% people are adopting the online medium. So we have 200 million WhatsApp active monthly users, and there's a growth. Every year it's growing by 100 to 200%. So that's an immense growth in the digital media. And it has a profound impact on the shoppers and the retailers. So 350 million digitally influenced customers by 2020, that is last year. So US dollars of 250 billion of retail spend. By last year, 85% of customer enterprise relations will exclude human interactions. So there won't be any human interaction, everything done online. And half of the country's advertising spends and digital marketing is around 12 to 24% of the total advertising. So let's see what's our digital demographics. So who are the real customers which you are trying to see? If you say that we have 400 million millennials, we call them millennials generation. Any persons who is born after 1982 are called millennials. They account for third of India's population. That's a huge 1/3 of India's population are millennials, and they are tech savvy, and 46% of them are working in the workforce. They're spending more time on the mobiles. So everything is on our fingertips. Now, if you see that even our elderly generations are also mobile friendly. They use WhatsApp, they use other medium. They have been trained by their children's or by the neighbors. So every elderly person is also is on Facebook or is on WhatsApp. So the best part of online is As soon as you wake up, or as you're going to sleep, or you're waiting, or as a 2-minute break, anytime you can just use your mobile and check things. And that's the best time for targeting, watching videos, watching content, watching any digital platforms, any information of medications. If you want to track something, where is my order? So people just take the phone and then try to find out what things are. So that's the convenience. You don't have to have a particular office time. You can do it anytime you're waiting for your bus or you're waiting at the metro station. Anytime you can just take your mobile and check everything. So how does it help us? Let's see the pharmacy patient journey. So I've divided into 4 types. So pre-diagnosis, once the patient is not diagnosed with anything, and then once he's diagnosed, the treatment, and once he becomes normal or is continuing on the medication and feels normal. So when is the pre-diagnosis? When they have symptoms, they always think, what do I have? Do I really need to go to the doctor? And if I go, what should I ask the doctor? Will this source be trustworthy? So these are the key points, which is leading to a lot of human traffic, a lot of Google searches. And this is where our pharmacy platforms, our blogging platforms can attract the customers to answer these questions by a pharmacist. And then once the diagnosis is there, the patient will never be satisfied with what the doctor tells you. They always want a second opinion. What does it mean? What should I do? Is this the best treatment, right? Like we also go to a doctor, we always have these questions. So it's okay to have a question, then there's somebody who can resolve it. And they always look for some platforms, because anybody gives information, they would not. They would always see for a digital platform. They Google their symptoms. They Google their conditions. They Google what medical conditions they have. They Google to find out if that answer given by the doctor is correct. So if you have a trustworthy source, a pharmacy platform where even you can answer all these questions. And then once the treatment is done, they know what kind of side effects are there. Whom do we ask? Will my stomach hurt? How should I take it? So if these questions are answered by pharmacy platforms, that is also one place where we can see all this traffic. So there's something called Google search words and keywords. Is a place we can find out, and you can attract the customers to your website. And once you have recovered, the same thing. So you're helping the patient to his recovery journey. So at different points of the patient's journey, from having the pre-diagnosis to the normalization, there are a lot of scope for digital media to be influenced. So not only we, as a pharmacist, we know the information about the medications, but now that's not enough. That's not enough. We have to be competitive. So more than information drug, we need to be digitally informed what is happening around us. So what are the wearable devices? So smart watches can see your resting heart rate, your sleep time, and it gives you so many predictions. Okay, we should be able to advise our customers that these are the things which are available. So then they will look forward to you as an information source. And what are the medical apps currently which are helping the patients? Digital marketing campaigns, e-commerce. So we can adopt e-commerce methods. What are the blogs and search engine optimization? So what can we do so that the customers can direct to our website? So that is called a search engine optimization. Inventory management. What are the relevant contents we need to have? These are all the digital tools. And patient engagement platforms. So if you have noticed that when you search something, for example, if I'm going to camping, I put camping in Google and to see which are the places, automatically I'll get some advertisement related to camping material, like tents, okay, like the swimming gear. I get all this advertisement just based on the Google search. Similarly, if you have a patient engagement platform attached to our website, as soon as the patient starts browsing things, it will automatically get information. We'll be able to hook the customer to our website and get more information or more products which are relevant to their searches. On our website, we can also have helplines for mental health, rehabilitations. So this is because our website should be not only information about drugs, about other services which we have, which are the places where we can get orphan drug source. We should be able to provide competent advice and professional services online. We can also create something called as camping kit, travel pack for feminine hygiene. So what is a camping kit? What are the things we require for camping? We need an antihistamine. We need a sunscreen. We need something to remove. Something is stuck to this one. We can have a needle to remove. So we can have an antiseptic spray. We can have an insect repellent. We can create our own kit and put as a camping kit, and that we can market on our website. any specific procedure, rate procedure, specialist information, we can have that information, or we can direct the patients, because they look, if they have any information on medicine or physicians or any medical devices they want, the first thing they would like, okay, let me ask my pharmacist if he has information, either on your online website or when they come to you. So when you start providing this information apart from the drug information you have, they would always look at you or your website or as a pharmacist, the valuable information which you can get. So we have to make our pharmacy ready for the modern customer journey. So I'm not saying that we are moving away from drugs. We are moving with the drugs. Along with that, we are providing so much information for the customers. So we have to adopt digital methods in order to be competitive. So we have a pharmacy management system which can integrate everything we have. We have a mobile app, we have a patient engagement platform, and these are all the platforms which you can integrate with a website which you have. You can add this, you can add one at a time, you can add multiple things. You have a pharmacy inventory management, you have tools for digital marketing. So if all these are outsources, you don't have to work yourself because this will take a lot of time. You can outsource all this one. There are so many companies which does that. There are so many companies with electronic medication administrative records, pharmacy point of sale systems. There's so many tools available for us. We just have to adopt those tools. So again, coming to tools, we have Relay Health, SureScripts, MDON, Kirby-Luster, Heartland. So what they do, so for example, Relay Health provides clinical connectivity to physicians, patients, hospitals, and innovative health information technologies. SureScripts, it will connect our pharmacy payers. So this is basically the US information, not for here, but here also we have certain other electronic prescription systems. We have MDON, which automates key businesses, and India also we have some more of these kind of things. So coming to the pharmacists, the clinical tools which we can use. So for example, on your website or when a patient comes to you, would you be able to provide which are the places where you get vaccination near the community? For example, I'm in Bangalore, I'm in HSR layout. I keep on getting WhatsApp forwards. These are the places where there are COVID vaccination available for 45 plus. This is one hospital, this is one center where we're getting COVID vaccination for 18 plus. Can we have this information? Can we have, like the way the online pharmacies have tie up with the labs, can we also tie up with the lab so the patient's convenience, they directly come to you and you can, they can book an appointment on your website. And again, it is outsourced to a third-party lab. They'll come and collect the blood sample from the patient and they get the report. You have mental health referral centers. You can have the helpline for them. You can have the different physicians or psychiatrists dealing with it. And you can have information about when will be the next diabetes camp. If there is any diabetes education going on in neighborhood, and if there are a lot of people who are diabetes, they can find information. They can find information on hypertension. So you can provide all these clinical tools. You don't have to do anything. You just have to provide the links on your website and provide the information and send them WhatsApp messages that like tomorrow there is going to be a camp at so-and-so place at so-and-so time. What is the registration link? What is the requirement? So all this information will keep on putting together all this information to your customers, to the patients. They will always look for your website. They'll always look to your pharmacy as their healthcare needs. Now, when there's a Holi, when there's Diwali, when there's Eid, Ramzan, Christmas, the retail customers market, they decorate their store, they give so many discounts. But we also have an opportunity. We have so many healthcare days. We have World Alzheimer's Day, Cancer Awareness Day, World Heart Day, World TB Day. So there's so many of them. We can utilize this opportunity to do, for example, it's a hypertension, we can create hypertension, we can create a walk, we can create giving them some materials, we can give some discounts on the blood pressure monitors, or we can educate during those things. We can bring in some camp. For example, if it's a diabetes camp, you can have an endocrinologist or somebody giving an online webinar, or somebody in the store giving demonstration how the glucometer, why the glucometer is used, why is it important to test your blood glucose levels. So all this information is an opportunity for us during this day. So let's not think that only retail customers have the advantage of festivals. We have the advantages of different therapeutic diseases which we have. We can take care of by sending the information to our customers or the patients. And best part is collaborate. If we want to grow, we have to grow with other healthcare professionals. You can have a nutritionist talk about nutrition. There are so many elderly people who need medical nutrition advice. So many people who are into running and cycling who need sport nutrition. So with a pharmacy, you can provide this nutrition. You can have a counseling camp over nutrition. You can have now, because of the Zoom and other things, you can have a webinar delivered to them. And you can always have your pharmacy provide this information with the help of endocrinologist. You can have a dentist dental campaign. So a physician assistant, dental assistant will come and give a demo of the products and how to be done. And they also get help by this marketing campaign. But along with that, you are also going to send so many dental products which is stocked in the pharmacy. You can also take the help of a cosmetologist about giving information about the beauty products. We're selling so many cosmetics. So patients want to know if my skin is oily, if this is the product which I use, why do I get acne? So why don't we help our customers by providing a link to a cosmetologist or conducting one-day camp? So when there's a camp, definitely there are a lot of people who's going to come and attend the camp. So when they come to the camp, again, they are looking at your pharmacy as a source of information, as a source of dental information, as a source of nutrition information, cosmetic, beauty product. You can also collaborate with a physiotherapist. So there must, because nowadays with a lot of people who are in the software industry, they're getting back pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain because of working on the computers. So if you provide a physiotherapist a link, if you provide physiotherapist, for example, there's a foam roller. There are some medications which are used. So all these physiotherapist tools you can provide on your website, you can connect with them, and they'll come back to you again for information or whatever prescriptions written by a physiotherapist. They'll come back to you. So collaboration will always help you grow and help the other healthcare providers also grow. So what should we think? We should think mobile, think social, like social media platforms, and drive your pharmacy into the digital future. So there are so many digital pharmacy startups which are taking on the big giants. Just the brick and mortar pharmacy, the independent pharmacy, they are adopting not all the digital methods at the same time, but they're adopting one after the other because we have the power of being local. So a pharmacy will have a tagline, they will have a website, they have an objective, they have a Google app, they have blogs, they have trackers. So all this will be towards the journey of being digital. So you can sell your cosmetic products both offline and online. You can sell the medical nutrition, supplements, sport nutrition, medical. So we, instead of thinking of more of a medical shop, we can move in terms of thinking as a health and wellness center. So that is one shop stop for everything which the customer needs, or the pharmacist or the patient needs. So the pharmacist is going to provide all this information, not by himself, by collaborating with other people, by using digital tools, by using the blogs, by using the experts who can do these things. So having said all this, people want to know, I need the proof. Is somebody doing it? Is somebody succeeding it? Am I simply putting money in digital tools? So there are a lot of places. There are a lot of places which they've adopted and they are doing wonders. So for example, Medley, see the tagline, a better pharmacy for everyone. So it's not only what it tells about a better pharmacy for everyone, that attracts, the tagline attracts. So what do? They have a free same-day delivery. They have a pharmacist on support. And they always try to give discounts and apply any financial support through, for example, a manufacturer will have some coupon, which a patient might not be aware of. If a new drug is coming, they'll have some coupons. So they take away of your choice. So this pharmacy is trying to crack the 500 billion US drug prescription market. Just in 2017, they have started and they have grown 100 times in revenue. Can you believe that? 100 times in revenue just by adopting digital methods. 15,000 providers, 50,000 patients, and delivered 500,000 prescriptions. So they have received 100 million in Series B funding, just 4 years down the line, just by adopting digital methods. You have Capsule. I'm going to give a few more examples. Just look at their taglines. Prescription delivery via text, site, or app. The pharmacy comes to you. That the customer or the patient doesn't have to go to the pharmacy comes to you. Come down to my dark basement. Stay where you are, we'll welcome you. So usually the pharmacy says that, the old pharmacies, that the patient has to come to the pharmacy. But here they say that stay where you are, we'll come to you. Everybody needs some looking after sometimes. So these taglines, the customer service, the value addition, this is what drives the digital future for the pharmacy. And this is what makes the customer come to you, looking for the other services. And there's some other players also. Pocket pills. We all know about Amazon PillPock, Alto, the first pharmacy you love. We have Hers and Hims. We have Genius RX. We have RO. There's so many examples of pharmacies, and these are all independent brick and mortar, owned by individual pharmacies, which are doing great lengths in the digital. We have our own Medox pharmacy, which is based out in Hyderabad. They are also using digital methods. So this is, you can talk to Tilak from Hyderabad. So this is the phone number for them. So look at the pharmacy store. They're adopting a very clean and neat look. It looks very elegant and it looks like a pharmacy which has like quality just based on the look. And you have professional services. They do the MTMs, they do the dispensing prescription drugs. They have mother and baby products, general health and hygiene products, blood pressure management. So each pharmacy has this, but we are not displaying it. We are not showing it as a service. When the patient comes to it, they don't know what services do you provide, what kind of categories do you have. So it is just what we have, we just have to project it. Then only our patients will come to know. So now, so when the patients visits a pharmacy, they do more than they visit the doctor's office. They might visit the doctor's office maybe 3 months or 6 months, depending on the condition. But just imagine a patient will visit a pharmacy at least once or twice in a month or more than that. So being local, and if you provide those digital services and being personal touch, definitely we are going to make a big difference. So we always have to not think that, okay, we are only local, but now the definition of local has changed. The definition of local is the new global with the digital media, digital trends, digital adoption of digital tools. We already become from local to global. So we always think, right, it's Amazon, Big Basket, 1mg, NetMeds, PharmEasy. This is the era. But as a local pharmacist, we have the power of the face-to-face interactions. We can do personalization, which the online pharmacists cannot do. But we have to adopt certain methods which they have so that we have providing what the customer needs. So as we told, right, we have to ask ourselves, why are we using, when we are shopping, why are we using online methods? So the first, second slide will tell you about different methods. So go digital is a mantra now. So if you want to stay relevant in retail, if you want to be competitive, you have to personalize and you have to be able to differentiate. That is what is going to provide a niche for you. So one thing which is always permanent is change. So we cannot always follow what we know or what we have. We have to keep changing with the relevant times to be more competitive and to be able to have the customers come to you, to be able to have the customers looking for us. So digital transformation is not a one-day journey. It's not a sprint. It's not a 100-meter race. It's a marathon of 42 kilometers. You achieve everything very slowly. You cannot transform your pharmacy from day 1 to day 2. You cannot be digital. You have to keep on adopting digital methods. And moving from a medical store to a health and wellness store, target the leisure time. So as I told you, when they wake up, when they sleep, when they have break time, mobile is the key. So always think about mobile. How can I get the information to the patient's mobile? Now, as I know, as I told you, the elderly are also mobile friendly. So it's not only the younger generation. Younger generation, though they stay away from the parents, but they are still connected with them. They send the medications online. They send the medication online. They ask the parents to have the prescription by WhatsApp, and they will upload to the website, and they get the medications. And elderly persons, they are very WhatsApp friendly. They are using Facebook. They're using digital tools. So as I told you, local is now the new global. So instead of being the driver, instead of doing everything, we start being the navigator. We should provide all the information. As a navigator, like the maps, we direct to tell you where to go, how to go. So this is the information here. In the information era, information and the data is the key. If you're able to provide this information, definitely this is what a digital future means. So if you have any questions, do let me know. And this is what I do for, apart from being a clinical pharmacist with IPD Analytics, I do with online media. So just as I told you, the patients just upload their prescriptions, what vitamins or what, and they have a separate things for putting all their questions, and they upload it. I call them and I do a Zoom call. I get all the information and I do a prescription medication review. So this is the only first kind of service which is provided in India. I'm able to do counseling somewhere in West Bengal. I did counseling in Bihar. I did counseling in Jammu and Kashmir. I did counseling in Tamil Nadu. I'm just being in Bangalore. I'm able to go places. As I told you, local is a new global. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hello. Yeah. So excellent presentation, Mr. Anand. So I think the questions will be asked at the end. So let us go to the next speaker. Our second speaker, yeah. So our second speaker for the day is Mr. Dhaval Mehta. Dhaval Mehta is a co-founder of websites.co.in. He is a technology thought leader. After dabbling with several web projects worth millions as an employee, Dhaval started his own infotech solutions company and kept at it for over 7 years. Dhaval has delivered projects for Fortune 500 companies and SMEs from different fields across the globe. However, his heart lies in helping SMEs grow through their business, be it web, software, or app. Dhaval, I welcome you for this webinar, and please start your session. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajni, for this introduction. I thank IPA, Manjari ma'am, and everyone for allowing us to be a part of this session. So just. Is the screen visible?
Yes, yes, it's visible.
Okay, so, let's start with, I would help you guys understand, how you can empower your business with a smart website. So first of all, the question is, why do you need a website? Or why do you need a strong digital presence? So this COVID-19, the one solid thing that it has all taught us is to have a strong digital presence. Okay, so, you must have a strong digital presence, to have great customers and, everything. So your website plays a significant role in, in having your digital presence. So you may wonder, these things, may be true for, groceries or the local retailers, that they must have a, strong digital presence. But talking about the pharmacist, chemist and all, so they have seen definitely an increase in their revenue. But why would they require to be digitally present? So Mr. Anand actually nicely told about a lot of benefits. So I'll just also try adding on to the points that he had mentioned. So first thing that we see is there has been an increase in the number of customers who have started buying pharmacies online. Okay, it's roughly around 30% at the moment, and this number is increasing. And we all know that once you start shopping things online, you continue to shop online. So this customers that you build are going to be your customers throughout. There has been recently a significant jump in Google searches for keywords like pharmacies near me, chemist near me. So let's say you have some relatives admitted to the hospital, the doctor prescribes something, and you check out in the medical stores nearby and you don't find those medicines. Okay, then what would be the next thing that you would do? You'll open your phone, you'll search on Google, for let's say this remdesivir was a trend recently. So, you would search for remdesivir suppliers in Mumbai and all, right? So in case your business or your pharmacy is listed online, then your contacts showing up over there to the customers, and your that would be the chances would be pretty higher. And you connecting with the customer, the chances would be pretty higher. And in case you're selling stuff online, then the chances of closing the sale right over there is pretty much higher. So in case you decide to have a website, what are the different approaches that you can think of? You would go and ideally approach a freelancer and ask him to do a website for you, or else you would, approach an agency, or else you pick up a DIY tool available on the internet and create your own website. So there are several common, commonly occurring challenges that people face while, they opt for these kind of an approach. So let's have a look at them. So one common problem that people face when they, go ahead with developers or, agencies is that the time it takes to develop a site. It's roughly around 30 to 45 days for an e-commerce website. And that's on a best case scenario. So you can understand that much time you're losing your business basically. Then there is this lack of reliability. You pay a lot of money upfront to the developers and you're not, there is no guarantee that you would get exactly what you've been asking for. there's too much cost involved in developing a site. So let's say, you pay around like, 50,000-60,000 to develop an e-commerce website. And then there are some additional, hidden charges, like you pay for your domain, your hosting, your SSL certificate. And then there is this AMC that you pay to, keep your site managed, updated, and to, do some kind of updates on the site and all. So this overall becomes a too costly affair for, those local businesses. Then, in order to update the site, you again, like, there are limitations, like, the restrictions laid by these developers that you can do only these many updates in a year for this particular AMC amount and all that. So, you have to then, like, get in touch with them, ask them to do it. And that becomes like, a cumbersome affair. So, or else, like, let's say in case you go ahead with a DIY tool. So then the problem with that is that they are kind of complex. It requires you to have some basic understanding of different components of a website, or like, how exactly a website is supposed to be, so that, then you can build a website, something like, based on those lines. And or else, like, the other problem that, the most DIY tools commonly have is that they are not mobile friendly. So you require to be good with, using a desktop computer, using their drag and drop tool to set up your website. And once you build up a website, again, the problem would be that, to make daily updates using that same, desktop based drag and drop mechanism, it becomes very cumbersome for local business owners. So that's the challenges. Again, like, once you get your website made, the next problem that you come across is, getting the business out of your website. So you then you eventually have to pay additionally for your search engine optimization, to get your website listed on Google search, and then, manage your social media accounts and all that. So, isn't there, like, a single package solution for all these problems? So yes, it is websites.co.in. Okay. So why websites? So it's basically very easy to manage your site. It's as easy as posting an update on your Facebook page. Okay. So, you can manage your entire site using a single mobile app. It's very simple. You don't need any kind of, expertise or knowledge of, how a website is supposed to be, or like, how the domains, or like, how the hosting works, and like linking it to your website and so on. You just get started. That's it. The key highlights again are, the auto SEO algorithm that we have. So you don't have to hire an SEO agency to, develop your, to, promote your website and get your website listed on Google search and all that. All you have to do is just keep posting updates at regular intervals. The more updates you push, the more content you, upload on your site, the better, this SEO algorithm works on it. And, the chances of your site showing up on Google search starts increasing. There is another thing that we have is, the geotagging feature. So, just talking about those keywords that we, discussed earlier. So, the pharmacist near me and all that. So basically this geotagging feature links your website with your location. So whenever people around your location searches for, something like pharmacist near me, or like, some kind of medicine names near around, like, suppliers in my area. So then the chances of your site or your business showing up on Google increases. And then, like, you get the chances of you cracking that deal increases basically. Then the other feature we have is the Facebook page integration. So let's say, you already have a Facebook page and you have a lot of posts updated over there already. So with this feature, you can import all your content onto your website with a single click of a button. Likewise, if you post any kind of an update on your website, you can push it into your Facebook page automatically without you actually having to go into your Facebook and then pushing that update. Then we have the smart notification. So let's say, customers inquire on your website, like, I'm looking out for this medication, or I'm looking out for this product. So do you have it? So maybe you have it and you deliver it to them, or else, like, you don't have it. So all these, inquiries or people subscribing on your website are saved as leads. So whenever you post any kind of an update on your site, you have an option to notify these customers. So this basically helps you stay in touch with your customers, with your old customers, with your leads quite frequently, and the chances of generating business out of it increases. Then the other feature that we have is that you can activate your e-commerce store instantly. It's as easy as turning a switch on. All you have to do is just that much, and your e-commerce, gets enabled on your site, and then you can start selling products. You're truly unlimited. So basically there is no restriction on the amount of content that you can upload on your site, the amount of images or the bandwidth or the, website hosting, storage or anything. You just don't have to worry about it. It's truly unlimited and it's cost effective. So, I mean, the kind of amount that you spend on getting your site developed and your marketing activities. So this costs you 1/10. So currently, we have this, special offer going on. So it's a limited time offer. So we are just selling yearly subscription for as low as 5,000 rupees, which is even lesser than the cost of your SSL certificate, your hosting, your domain combined. So that's the thing. These are basically the features that we already talked about. We have analytics and e-commerce, auto SEO and so on. This is something about us basically. We have been listed as the top grossing app in business category in Play Store, and there has been such similar achievements. We have acquired more than 1 million app downloads, and people are using our platform from more than 200 countries. We are available in regional as well as global languages, and we have an average Play Store ratings of 4.3 stars. We have customers paying us from 110 plus countries. So how do you access our platform, or how do you access websites.co.in? So this is how it is. In case you're using a desktop or an iOS device, all you have to do is open your browser, type in websites.co.in/register, and that's it. You can then fill up the basic forms and you just get started. In case you're using an Android device, all you have to do is open your Play Store, search for websites.co.in and download the app, and then you get started. So I'll just demo a simple website creation process, and you can see how easy and how quick it is to set up your website. Just hold. Is the screen visible yet?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So I've just opened this websites.co.in/register. I enter my name. So this is basically, a form where you just fill up your personal details. So I think there is some issue with the net speed. So after this basic OTP verification, I think it's yet loading. So you just fill up some basic details about your business. So let's say I just type. You need to type in your address as accurately as possible. Like I told you that, we are doing this geo tagging with your website. So the more accurate it is, the better results you get. So you can have a look at your website. So as you can see that your website is currently in a subdomain, which is your business name .websites.co.in. So as you upgrade your account, you get a chance to, you get an option to basically switch to a custom domain name, which is like, your business name .com or .in or something. This is the basic layout of the website that's created. You can update your website over here using this dashboard. Your customers can contact you via WhatsApp using this button. They can locate your business using this, this button. And this is the basic dashboard where all, the activities that you want to do on your website are available at your fingertips. So, you can set up your business profile, update your logo and so on. You can create updates, you can add pages, you can set up your custom domain name, you can enable e-commerce. We'll just have a look at that. You can choose between the different templates you have, you can customize your menu and so on. In order to enable e-commerce, all you have to do is just turn on the switch and your site gets ready to accept orders online. So these are the basic settings that you can do. You can immediately start accepting payments via your check, your cash on delivery, PayPal. In case you want to have the payment gateway and accept orders via UPI and other such methods, net banking, credit card, etc., you have to register with Razorpay. And the moment you register, you get this API keys, which you have to punch in here, and that's it. You will be done. So once you are done, next you have to do is visit the store, go to products and create your products. So this is how it is. It's as simple as, you can think of. The Android app is even simpler. So I think that was all with the demo. And we have some goodies for you. So in case you, register and upgrade yourself today for an annual or a higher package, you can use this coupon code, which I'll just paste it on the chat. You'll get a website for, as less as 3,750 rupees. Okay, I'll just paste it. And in case you need some help, you can visit websites.co.in/help and or else email us at support@websites.co.in. So that would be all. Yeah, so that's all. And here is the coupon code in case you want to. Yeah.
Okay, Dhaval. I think it was really a wow presentation. And I think most of us, including me, will be registering it today. So just wait for it. And it was very, very nice. And to add to it, I think this is for the first speaker, Mr. Anand. Mr. Anand, because of time constraint, we could not communicate with you at present immediately, but you have inspired us a lot, and we would be getting in contact with you because you have shown us a lot of ways that we could do digitally, which we already, we have a lot of things in our mind, but we are not sure how to do it. And I think you have made it very, very simple. And most of you will be connecting with you surely. Thank you very much, Anand.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
The third speaker for today is Mr. Shekhar Rautani. Shekhar is a graduate in pharmaceutical sciences with additional LLB qualification. And while working with Colorcon, he was so obsessed with the technology and its possible applications in healthcare that it led him to found Prescript 7 years ago to help doctors provide a neat printed prescription to their patients. Today, it caters to around 12,000 doctors pan-India and have helped over 2 million patients understand the prescription better. Shekhar, I welcome you to this webinar and I request you to start your session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again, IPA, for the opportunity. I hope I can add value with, with a very small presentation about pharmacies going digital. I'm just sharing my screen. Please let me know once you're able to see it. Rajni ma'am, is the screen audible? Is the screen visible?
It is visible.
Yes.
Shekhar, it is visible.
Thank you again. So before we get started, let me just take you through the small piece of agenda that I wish to discuss within this presentation. One is the Indian pharmaceutical market overview. Second is that let's together define what a digital pharmacy is. Let's look at certain digital disruptions that have happened in the pharmacy space. And lastly, what can we do? I think Dhaval already created made a beautiful presentation on how you guys can create a website in less than 5 minutes. And beyond that, we'll take a couple of examples of how, how we can actually leverage and become a digital pharmacy today itself. So, the pharmaceutical sector is growing really, really fast. Its compounded annual growth rate is roughly about 14 to 16%, which makes it one of the hottest sector, in India at the moment. It is estimated to grow to a whopping 8,75,000 crores by the year 2030. I remember when I was a student and we had organized the IPA First Students Forum conference in Bombay. In the Mumbai University campus, we had Dr. Abdul Kalam, who was our first chief guest. And he had mentioned that, we will touch 20 billion by the year of 2020. And that was the goal and the vision that he was sharing with the industry back then. I'm sure Dr. Kalam would be happy to know that we actually surpassed that number sometime between 2017, 2018 itself. So this sector is poised for significant growth. And it is just the perfect time for us to be a part of this industry, because we should also leverage this growth and witness this together. So what exactly is driving this growth, right? One is, of course, the population growth in our country, which is, 11.3%, and it's steadily rising. And there is a steady rise in disease prevalence as well. Affordability of drugs will rise. And, the more number of pharmaceutical manufacturers that enter into the market, the medicines get more and more accessible, and there's a sustained growth in income and insurance coverage, which will make medicines more affordable. Accessibility of drug, of course, is already expanding. Now we are seeing a significant amount of growth medical infrastructure in tier 2 towns and rural areas as well. But the biggest reason of this growth is going to be acceptability of modern medicine and newer therapies. And this will be primarily driven by, big pharma companies because of their aggressive market creation strategies that they are currently doing. Chronic therapies such as cardiovascular, neuropsychiatry will see a significant amount of investment in patient awareness and education, which will overall lead to our growth. So, as I mentioned, let's define digital pharmacy, right? So digital pharmacy is nothing but convergence of digital technologies with our pharmacy practices, and how digital tools and technologies can be used to improve A, business, B, practice, and 3, and the most important part, patient care. So this is a question that I would like to pose to the group, right? Is that if you look at adoption of digital technologies, we have actually already adopted digital technologies for business, right? We already use a billing software or an inventory software, at least in most of the cities. We already have, we already have the banking POS systems to accept money from credit card, debit card. So when it comes to the business perspective, we've already actually adopted technology. But the question that I want to ask all of you is that have we really adopted digital for practice and patient care? Specifically for patient care, have we done anything in digital adoption that makes it easy for a patient? So this is a question that I want the group to think about and, answer this question very honestly within themselves, that have we done anything, for the sake of patient care? So another question that I'm sure all of y'all must be thinking is that why is digital important? The answer is actually very, very simple. The future of medicine is digital. We will be seeing a significant amount of investment in digital technologies in the overall medicine sector. And right from, in our company, we are focused on digitalizing the doctors. So that is where your prescriptions start getting digitalized. And we will be seeing, with the new, initiatives such as the National Digital Health Missions, which actually incorporates pharmacies, labs, hospitals, companies like ours, to also be a part of this, Aadhaar card for medicine purposes. The future of medicine is definitely going to be digital. So digital is absolutely important. So let's look at a few case studies. As I mentioned, we'll look at a few case studies of how, what kind of digital disruptions have happened in our space. And of course, the first case study that I would want to focus is on the online pharmacies such as NetMeds, 1mg, PharmEasy, and the lot. So, why do patients choose to buy online versus buying from, our stores? What is the key reason? It's actually the same reason why we would prefer buying a mobile phone from Amazon and Flipkart. It's convenience. As Anand covered in his presentation, the biggest fact that you can sit and order medicines at home and it gets delivered. You don't have to wait at a pharmacy. You don't have to travel to get your medication. It is very, very convenient. So that is the biggest value addition for all of these online portals. And of course, then there is a discount element to it. Now you would wonder how are these companies that are less than 3 years old, 4 years old, able to give discounts that you are not able to? And how is actually technology leveraged by these guys? On the face of it, what we see is that it's a beautiful website that they've created. They have created a mobile application, but that's not all. Basically, what these companies have actually done is significantly streamline their businesses. It's like you having a capability of running 1,000 pharmacy stores with only operational expenses of only 50. Technology and process implementation is done at every single step, right from their website to app that allows the patient to order, to the warehousing where all the medicines are, maintained with, lakhs of SKUs managed within a very small space, to sorting and packing. In fact, the moment a patient makes an order online from any of these big platforms, their orders get packed and ready to be shipped in less than 15 minutes. That's exactly the amount of time that you will take to put a 8 to 10 drug medicine to pull out of your store. It takes the same amount of time for one of these websites to actually sort and pack, and they use technology to be able to do that really fast. And lastly, they even use technology in the logistics. Their delivery personnel are equipped with technology to fulfill as much as 10 orders per hour. Their system, in fact, decides that, patient 1 should be serviced first, patient 2 should be serviced, so that the route is also created in such a manner that they can fulfill 10 orders. So their secret weapon actually is technology beyond the website and the application. It's the operational excellence that they are actually pursuing. These companies are set to see a significant growth, just like, the Frost and Sullivan report that was published on 7th of December 2018 showed a whopping 64% growth in the e-pharmacy market. Something that was less than 3,000 crores now is almost on its way to become an 18,000 crore market in India. So this is going to see significant growth, and there is absolutely, it's for us to wake up and now try and make sure that we stay relevant in this space. The second case study that I want to talk about is PillPack by Amazon Pharmacy. This is actually the next, the second round, the second wave of disruption that will happen in our space. If online pharmacies was phase 1 of coronavirus, PillPack and Amazon Pharmacy will be phase 2 of coronavirus in our industry. So what does this company do? This company goes a step further. They actually sort your medication and they deliver it in a very convenient pouch. If I'm sure all of us have gone to a family physician in India. Most of our family physicians who would dispense medication in this manner. So basically, what they do is it has automatic refills. The biggest advantage of this particular part is that the adherence to medication is far superior. There is no chance that a patient will ever forget taking his medication because they are all packed and they are personalized. It is online, but it's simpler. The process is as simple. You upload your prescription and you get your order delivered within the next day and packed for your dosage regimen. So at 8 o'clock, your pack is ready. 12 o'clock pack is ready. 9 o'clock pack is ready. So it's fairly simple. And we believe that this will be the second wave of, technological disruption in our space. And so this is another case study that I wanted to, highlight. And lastly, I'm sure that, all of you all must be thinking that how are we going to be benefiting from all this, right? As community and retail pharmacies, what can we really do to go digital? As Anand and, Dhaval pointed out, I think what we can do, in philosophy are the two-pronged golden approach, as I call it. Think of digital as a tool to make it convenient for a patient. How do we, the question that you need to ask is, how do we leverage digital to make it convenient for my loyal customer to remain mine? What kind of value addition that I can add, to make it for my customer, to make their lives easier? Because your customers are just not customers, they are actually patients. So, while they are already dealing with disease, what kind of value additions that you can bring on board? Anand talked about camps, and there are, the universe is huge. Every single participant on this webinar can think of value additions and actually deploy using digital tools. So how do we go digital and how do we do it today? The first thing that I recommend to all my fellow pharmacies is that you have to start accepting orders digitally. While you create your websites on websites.co.in or any however you do it, it is important that you should be able to do it today. And the way you can do it is by simply choosing platforms such as WhatsApp Business and Google My Business. You can actually set it up as quickly as downloading an app and start accepting orders digitally. You have to make it a point that you don't have. That will be the biggest value addition that you can actually start today. What we also recommend is that sell value, not discount, right? You have, with your billing system, you already have your database of customers and your patients. You can use digital marketing tools and your creativity to keep your customers engaged. I think Anand touched upon this subject in a fantastic manner. You can create custom plans for diabetes patients, for hypertensive patients, camps. You can do a lot. We recommend you sell value and not discount. Lastly, you can always leverage your digital counterparts. If you've noticed, and I'm sure all of us have sometimes received a medicine that we do not stock, the first thing we do is we Google it, and the first result that mostly comes is 1 mg or PharmEasy or one of those. You can leverage these, and you can leverage that you cannot offer, such as booking an appointment for the patient, or providing diagnostic services at home. These are not services that are core to you, but you can use these. You can use your competition's services to provide value to your patients, thereby making sure that your patients are taken care of. So we would always recommend that you can leverage existing platforms to make your customer's life easy, so that they see value in you being the pharmacist and you being your medical point of contact, to say so. So as I mentioned, I was told to prepare a small piece on how to set up your Google business and WhatsApp business. Well, while I was actually creating a video on screen recorder, I just realized that this is just too simple. So I just made it a 3-point process, which I would want all of you all to do. Just open your Google Play Store or App Store, download Google Business, take great photographs of your store, fill up the digital registration form with as much detail as you can, similar to what you would do on websites.co.in. Launch your business profile instantly. If you need any help with Google My Business, search it on Google. It's that simple. With WhatsApp Business, it actually needs no introduction. It's as simple as using WhatsApp, but it's only meant for business. The only thing that is different is that when you go to the settings of WhatsApp Business, you'll have something known as business settings, where you'll need to add your details about your store, your address, your open timing, your close timings. And further, you can also list your products that you wish to sell on a WhatsApp Business. This is it. And then simply, share this with your patients that you're now accepting orders via WhatsApp Business, and you don't need to come to the store. Just simply send me a WhatsApp and we'll deliver the order to you. It's as simple as that. So again, if you'll need any queries with this, believe me, very little queries will come out of this, because this is really, really, truly simple. Lastly, I just want to, reiterate that make it simple for your customers. Again, they are not your customers, they are patients, or they are relatives of patients who are going through a tough time. Your patients are, your customers are patients first. So just make it simpler, easier, and faster for them, and they will guaranteed remain yours. It is very, very important that you have to start accepting orders online, and you have to make it a point that they spend as less time on your counter as possible. If they are spending more time, then add value by counseling, add value by taking a quick glucometer check, add value in some way so that their time is worth it. Lastly, I just want to remind everybody that there is going to be a 3x growth. That is, if your counter is doing 1 lakh rupee worth of business today, it should be doing more than 3 lakhs or more than 3.5 lakhs of business by 2030. We need to be a part of this growth. And this is actually a very exciting time to be a pharmacist. So, just a quick reminder that digital, investing in digital today will make sure that we make the most out of the growth opportunity that is already coming our way. So that's my, small presentation. Let me know if there are any questions and answers. And yeah.
Okay, Shekhar, thank you very much for your presentation. And we assure you that we would be a part of this digital group, and we will like to enter into this digitalization. And also, along with that, we assure you that we will stick to your tagline that, sell value, not discounts. Okay, so that we are going to follow. One question to Mr. Dhaval from one of the participants is, Dhaval? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So one of the participants was asking, one question is that creating website in 5 minutes is fine, but what about the COGS? So he would like to get more insight on this. That is the cost of goods sold, I think he means. And
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, I think the cost of the goods sold, so that all is dependent on the user itself. I mean, like we would not interfere on what cost the user is selling on, or we don't take any kind of commissions on any purchases that are done on website. So
okay, so it will be yearly. Whatever you have mentioned, the cost that will be yearly,
yes.
and every year it will be charged.
So that's a fixed amount. So I mean, that's
fixed
just amount for your domain and basically host using the services. But any kind of sales you make or any kind of business you make, so that's totally independent, and we don't interfere with that.
Okay, Manjiri, would you like to add anything to this question? Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want to add anything. I just want to appreciate all the three speakers. I mean, they have given such good tips, and I'm sure many of the pharmacists will follow it. And as everyone said, that we have to equip ourselves with the digital tool because that's the future. In fact, it's already happening today. And we have to have imagination with us, and that will lead to an innovation. So I'm sure this session will be starting, it will be initiating and stimulating our minds. I think
was really
there
stimulating.
are some pharmacists, yes. I think Sagar Kulkarni had some questions. Sagar? I think he was...
Yes,
Sagar,
actually, to all the speakers, thanks for their very valuable information. But I just want either to Shekhar or to Dhaval, or I mean, to have a website of an individual pharmacy, and they will, you know, send it to their limit. I mean, the customers they do have catering today. I mean, whether the effect of website or will be the medium of business between that pharmacy and their patients, or I mean, as it has got limitations, or is there a bigger scope than that?
Can you repeat the question?
I think Sagar, I think I will make it more clearer. What Sagar meant to ask is, suppose if, for example, XYZ pharmacy is going to start the website, and whether this website is going to cater to his or its own customers, or whether it will be having a wider approach. I mean, how it is going to really help. That is what I think is his question.
Okay. So first of all, it will definitely cater to his own customers, but it will also be, you know, applicable to a wider audience. So like in the presentation that I had covered up, you know, one of the points wherein, like, you know, people, let's say, you know, a person whose relative is hospitalized, and, you know, that basically, you know, a person who is looking out for medicines, so he is not being a customer for this guy. I mean, this pharmacist. So this is like, you know, kind of a new audience altogether, or a new customer that he is building. Right. So that would be one thing. The other approach is also like, you know, the blogs and all that you write over here. So that was like, you know, I think covered by Mr. Anand very well. So, you know, that, you know, the blogs and all would be very informative, and that would basically that plays an initial step in, you know, becoming a customer. So when you write blogs and when you provide information that's necessary for, you know, the people or the customers or the patients, so then, you know, when they start getting connected with a particular brand, or like, you know, with your shop or something, or your business, then what happens is like, you know, when they have to make a purchase decision, they would actually, you know, come to you, because they would find you more reliable. So does this answer your question?
Yes, Sagar, I think yes. Okay. Thank you, Sagar, and thank you, Dhaval. Now, I request Mr. Raj Vaidya, Executive Committee member. Yes, Manjiri?
Yeah, may I interrupt you? I think there are some questions. Mr. Srikant Joshi wanted to ask something. I can see his hand raised. Does it mean, Mr. Srikant, you want to ask something? Please go ahead. And Mr. Savio has one comment. So if any of them wish to ask, please go ahead. Mr. Savio or Mr. Srikant Joshi, please.
Go ahead. Any questions?
Maybe not.
Okay. Mr. Srikant, you can unmute yourself.
I unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
See, what my question to Mr. Dhaval is, once the website is created, and anyone who buys that website, the data will be created of their customers. Whether that data will be the secured or how it is. That data should not be used. No.
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
That data. So what's happened is, most of the places this data is not secured. The data is passed on to somebody else.
Agreed. Got it. So yes.
What about what is the assurance from website.co.in?
Okay, so one thing is like, you know, I mean, I have come across this question. So I've been associated with one of the, you know, this patient management system brand. So I've been a co-founder over there as well. And I know, like, you know, the kind of the problems that it raised, you know, that when there was this news when, you know, Practo was selling patients' data. So, I mean, when there was this kind of a rumor, I'm not sure if they were actually doing it, but when there was this kind of a rumor, so there was this fear among doctors and, whether to go ahead with that or not. So the thing is like, when, see, first of all, in our case, like, we are truly, a website, a development company, and we are just, aligned to vision. We are not catering just to a medical industry or a particular industry. So we have customers using our platform from different domains or different industries. So there won't be like a particular see that having a data analysis being done would make more sense when we are just catering to a particular line of business, right? So, in our case, our mission is very clear that we just want to conquer like, all those small and medium scale businesses and have a website done for them. So that is our vision. And we are just, behind, just dedicatedly behind achieving that. So, so that's like, one of the thing that, you can consider as an assurity. The other thing is like, the kind of infrastructures where our data is stored. So usually what happens is like, when this data is being stored and, third party servers and everywhere. So that time, the chances of hacking and, those other, people tapping into your data are high. But our data is basically, are stored in the cloud that belongs to our own investor. So, then you can understand like, how serious they would be with the data security and everything. So that's one of the things. The other thing is like, every patient, every user creating the site will have an SSL certificate. So SSL certificate basically is, a secure line of communication between your website and your customer's device. So any kind of purchase they are trying to make or any kind of communication that they establish after they open your website is truly encrypted. When it is encrypted, even we or like, anybody into that line cannot decrypt that. So that is the thing.
Okay. So why I'm asking is recently I myself has experienced very bad thing through when I searched through the Google for liposomal amphotericin B injection. It shows a India Mart website that there are some parties who has got. So one of the party has created imaginary account to the existing genuine party.
Understood.
And with the same name and which was showing it is verified by India Mart. And after making payments, the whole amount has gone. This has happened with me. I verified before making the payment. I verified he has sent me the proforma. I verified on the GST portal whether the GST number is true and what is the status of the party. GST number was correct and it was showing that all the returns are filed till April 21. That means the party is genuine. Yeah. And I inquired the name, that party, yes, that party is very good party. That the local guy told. When I checked the drug license number was also correct. But when I went, it was showing a Mysore address, all the details. That means this GST number and the drug license was hacked from some original parties. And it was registered with India Mart and it was showing as a verified. Now the whole police complaints and all those things are going on. But then these such things happens, we'll lose the confidence in this online pharmacies.
Agreed. So, we also we also come across these kind of scenarios when, people create some fake websites on our platform and, they do some illegal business. So what we have done is like, we looked into like, how Facebook and, all other such big organizations handle this kind of scenarios. So we came, with an idea wherein all the websites created on our platform will have, report abuse section in its footer. So in case like, there is anything fishy going on in a website, their customers. So let's say, there is this website and the website's customers basically. So those customers, if they see there is any kind of fraud being done against them, so they can report an abuse and then that complaint gets, routed to our support system. So our support system investigates that and we provide like, all necessary data needed to, resolve that case. So this has been like, this is how we handle it. And at times, like, we also, if we receive such kind of complaints and we find that, the customer, the users, the buyers are genuine, and, the people who have created a website on a platform are at fault, we shut down their website immediately for such cases.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Shrikant, and thank you, Dhaval. So I request
One
if there are
question
no
from
questions.
Mr. Savio.
Okay. Okay. Go
Savio,
ahead.
would you like to say it or shall I read it out?
You can read it out.
So his question is, do you really think that online and digital pharmacies will work in India? I ask this because more than 8,000 pharma companies in India come to my pharmacy, and you will see that one drug has 8 to 10 Me Too products. In the larger market, there will be 35 to 50 Me Too products. How is it possible for any company to stock all the Me Too products? Please note, substitution is illegal.
Raj sir, may I take that?
Yes, please.
Savio, so again, this is leveraging technology, right? And it's actually not 35 to 50 Me Too products. Like a product like Metformin 500 mg has more than 350 Me Too brands on this. Metformin and combination are known to have the most amount of Me Too combinations on this. So again, leveraging technology wherein, the entire supply chain, right from how you would be taking and stocking medicine, imagine that on a large scale, where, in a warehouse where there are more than, 8 to 10 lakh SKU products that are being stocked, by using technology and robotics to make sure that, the products are placed in the right place. And once the orders come in, somebody from the team goes and retrieves the product, packs it, and sends it across. This is purely leveraging technology. And there is, you have to use technology when the scale is this big, right? In your own pharmacy, as you mentioned, that you could probably stock 10 different metformin brands or 10 different paracetamol brands. But when it comes to using technology, then you can even do 1 crore metformin brands together. It does not matter, because it's just it's just how technology works. It makes it easier. So even without substitution, it is if the online pharmacy has the capital to purchase all the different type of Me Too products that are there in the market, it's very easy for them to use technology and stock them in the proper condition in their warehouses. I hope I've answered that question.
Hello. Any more question?
There's a question in the chat box. What about Drugs and Cosmetic Act? There is no provision for online sale of medicines. AIOCD is fighting against current players. Shekhar, you would like to answer that?
Shekhar?
Well, sir, I think, for anything that is new, like an online sale of medicine is a new concept. I mean, it is now 5 years old, but and AIOCD, which is the body trying to fight the current players. So AIOCD, if I'm not mistaken, Raj sir and Manjari ma'am can tell us more, that they have tried their level best efforts to try and make sure that these online players don't spring up. But now when you see companies like Tata, Reliance, Tata buying 1mg, Reliance buying NetMed, and PharmEasy being invested by some of the biggest investors in the world, I feel that Drugs and Cosmetic Acts will be changed to, provide, to provide provisions in that. And having said that, again, anything that makes it convenient for a patient, that is anything that will make it convenient for the people of, so the government, I don't think will have any objection, right? Because it's making it easier for people to get access to medication. So, with respect to Drugs and Cosmetic Act, I feel that there will be an addendum that will come for this purpose. And of course, there'll be certain rules regarding prescriptions and online prescriptions for that. And with respect to AIOCD, I think Raj sir and Manjari ma'am can talk about their efforts. We know that a lot of large scale efforts were taken, a lot of chemist band initiatives were taken, but yet we see Tatas and Reliance and all of these big names coming into this business. So, it's again, if anything is good for the patient, it will happen. So with that thought, I would still want the entire group to think creatively on how they can leverage technology rather than just be worried about, these big players and online players. It's about using your creativity and making it convenient for your patients to make sure that they remain yours.
Exactly, Shekhar. I would just like to add, using digital health technology or using digital tools is our focus, and just the sale of medicines online is not at all our focus. So as Anand gave us many ideas, Shekhar gave us many ideas, or even Dhaval told us. So for increased patient connect, to remain connected with our patients, sending them messages, having the group of patient database of patients for chronic ailments, and staying with them to improve their adherence, or even like travel kits, like how Anand gave us ideas. So there are various options and ideas. So here we are not just aiming to sell our medicines online. No, not at all. But variety of digital options and digital tools are available, and we need to use it to our benefit. So that's what is the aim actually. But I can understand perfectly all your concerns.
I'll just add, would like to add just one perspective is as an independent pharmacy who are using digital pharmaceuticals or digital services. So the way you look at it is you are having a prescription, you are just shipping them. You're not selling the drug, you're shipping the drug. You have a prescription, you are door delivering the medication from your pharmacy to the patient's doorstep. So that's how I would look into it.
Yes, and telemedicine has become official ever since COVID pandemic has started.
Those who are apprehensive can always look at the other aspects of patient care, digital health, counseling, as well as providing non-prescription medicines to the patient. And that's up to everybody to how they see it and how they can move forward. If there are no more questions, I think we shall end. I take this opportunity on behalf of IPA Community Pharmacy Division to the three wonderful speakers, Mr. Anand Katta, Mr. Dhaval Mehta, and Mr. Shekhar Rautani for their wonderful presentations and literally opening up our eyes. And I think especially the generation which has not been so tech savvy, it will be very helpful, useful, and they have given us very simple, basic tips that will be most useful for all of us. I thank the speakers once again for their simple, lucid presentations and open ideas, which can make the difference between what we are today and in the future. Thanks to Dr. Rajni Shettigar for moderating and hosting this program. And thanks to the tech team, which in the background has helped us to remain in continuity in hosting and making these presentations a reality for all of you. And last but not the least, thanks to all the participants for their persistence and being with us throughout. And thanks for your wonderful questions, insights, and putting queries into the minds of all of us. I think this is just a beginning, and we at IPA CPD have planned a lot more such digital webinars for you, and including having international speakers. We will keep you updated and hope you will join in for our next webinars. With that, I thank every one of you. And thanks to the Board Digital team of IPA CPD and supports ably led by Madam Manjari. Thank you and see you soon in our next webinar. Bye-bye.
Thank you.